Hello, I'm Michael Andrews with the ML Andrews Credit Firm. I want to thank you once again. We're coming back to you with more information because I actually had a client today who I was talking to as we were working with him on the personal credit and the business side. I want to talk about some myths that I want to dismiss. And that is that people think that if you have negatives that appear on the largest credit bureau in the world, which is done in Bradstreet, that it can't be removed. Quite contrary to the popular belief, I'm going to tell you that it can be removed. You need to be able to work with professionals that's on that. Remember, personal credit is a regulatory area. There are regulations that's there. It's dealing with the consumer. Business credit is not. There's so many different flexibility. We have some clients who have multiple corporations, and so therefore they need multiple business that's there. And we can also help them build a portfolio of credit to help them expedite things even in a better way. You hear my handwriting is bad, but you see credit. Credit is very important. America was built on trade and bartering services. And we want to show you a little bit about that, the personal versus the business, and how that sometimes it can overlap or it can bleed into one another. Like my client who's from a different state, who I've worked with on numerous things in terms of getting money and raising capital. I've done a lot that's with him. And so he stayed a client now for many years. And so that's a very positive thing. So let's talk about personal credit because this is a bit of what he's done. He purchased a car, all right? And he purchased that car on his personal credit. So let me go here. And I'm just going to put PC. He purchased that car on his personal credit as an individual. All right? He purchased a truck. All right? On business credit, so he thought, but it ends up being a PC. Now, while it will not hurt what is considered his DTI here, which is his debt to income ratio, it doesn't hurt him at all for the business because the business has cash flow, is doing well. But it does hurt him in terms of his personal credit because his debt to income ratio. Now let's look at what happened to him here. He applied for business credit with the truck. They told him they wanted a personal guarantee. He did that. So now they have two responsible entities, an entity and a person. One, him, because he's personally signed it and gave a personal guarantee, all right? And then secondly, guess what? The business. So they're able to harm both parties. I even advise couples that if the income is right, then use one party if they're purchasing an item, even a house, because in certain states, your name is going to be on the warranty deed anyway in terms of personally. But you need to separate that. So I advise husband and wife to build separate profiles even though you're together, even though you're working. So if something happens to one, that it won't happen to the other. So understand, do not tie your personal credit up with your business credit. That's an absolute no-no. That's an absolute no-no. So with that, I want to tell you that, look, you have a greater opportunity to do things. What am I at, 2 minutes? You have a greater opportunity to do things if you keep those things separate. I'm here in my conference room right now to give some illustrations on this far as the personal credit. It's a learning experience. And even with me getting the business from many years ago and a long time ago, guess what? It was a learning experience for me. So you don't want to have to pay that price where I've already paid that price that's for you. Let me give you an example. I had someone to actually purchase years ago a house. And this is just a little bit on the finance side, even in terms of business. So you learn to use your money and your credit for the purpose of leveraging, because if you got it there from the business credit perspective, you can get money. Also the personal perspective as well. And we give you certain leads and companies that will give you high limits, 10, 20, 30, 35, but it's dependent upon the income. But I had a client who got a home, all right? And that home that client had was a $300,000 home, all right? $300,000. Guess what? That down payment was $150K, $150,000. That means now you have a note only on $150,000 in terms of the note, all right? But that client received financial trouble. And so I came in as an investor to rescue that. And right here, they can no longer make the payments. So let me just put PYP, payments there. So if the credit is messed up, you can't do anything. So you want to be able to have cash as your leverage or credit. But the credit is messed up. They didn't have any business credit. So guess what? We're talking about let's just put BS there, credit at all. All right? No business credit at all. And because they had no business credit, guess what? They could not borrow any money to take care of this note. So whoever gets this here wins, and of course I'm a winner, at $150,000 is there. Once you pay back all the back payments and everything else, or you do what's called a sharking, that's there at the auction. So they ended up losing this property, but they put all of this money here. But what if they had did this here? I'm sorry, because this is supposed to be the down. Let me just put this here. Payment that's there. And through that down payment, if they had that money, then they could have had $150,000 working for them. All right? And they could have even leveraged that. They could have taken this and done 3 businesses. They could have done. And with that 3 businesses, if we can get them $250,000 there each, times 3, guess what that equals? That equals $750K in credit that they could have had. They could have gotten themselves out of the total debt that was necessary, or made this note become unsecured and it not been a problem. So I admonish you, you need personal credit. You also need to be in business. You need to be able to help yourself as well. And so that's why we ask you, look at the website, www.mlandrewsfirm.com. You have the numbers that's from the other sites as well. We enjoy giving you personal information, personal testimonies. It's so many things that's there. If you have cash, there's a lot that's available. I have a jeweler where I was able to get a watch valued Rolex at $50,000 for only $20,000. But if I didn't have cash, I would have missed that opportunity. The same thing with certain vehicles. I had friends that was getting rid of them, and you can get it. I had friends of mine who's very successful in business, the same thing. And not only that, but even other jewelry, other options, and other things as well. I think I'm down to my last 60 seconds now, 30 seconds. So I want to say thank you for tuning in. Share the video with somebody else. Let them know. Thank you so much. It's wonderful. We will see you at the top of your scores in terms of credit and right where your bank account says it's getting full. Have a blessed one.